Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. I'm so excited, y'all. So in this video, we are looking at charting tips or, things that can help us with our trading journey. And I always like to, try to identify my possible trouble places. I say possible because y'all know in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Let's say that, right? So, but first, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that, because we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at NQ or E-mini NASDAQ 100 index, whichever you'd like to call it, right? That is the name. So I'm looking at NQ because I am just starting to chart this. So it's not something that I look at often, and it's not as marked up, and I wanted to teach some extra, charting tips. So this is a great example, right? So we are looking at NQ, I was going to say NQ because, I normally like to start on my 30-minute chart. Let's start with this 2-minute first, right? Because looking at this, it can be overwhelming or confusing as to, this is going sideways. I would not trade this because of this movement, looking at it on the 2-minute chart. Now, if I move to my 5-minute chart, it's still kind of giving me a choppy sensation here that I just do not like to trade. So that's okay. We know we're going sideways. All of our charts are saying the same thing. 2 minutes, 5 minutes saying the same thing, right? Now, this is what I like to see, the 30-minute chart. We are trading in this zone, from this zone to this zone here, right? So that's interesting. Now, looking at it on this 30-minute chart, I wanted to go to my daily chart, which is where we started. I wanted to go to my daily chart to figure out where my trouble places are. I just marked this level, but I didn't have anything down here to let me know that where could I possibly have trouble. So I'm going to go to the 1 hour first. And the 1 hour is kind of like giving me the exact same thing. I'm not seeing any extra lines. I need to figure out what's going on with NQ and where are my possible trouble places. Should we break where we are now? This is my 4-hour chart, again, telling me the exact same thing. Y'all see why I like the 30-minute? Because guess what? I still get the exact same thing, and I like the view of the 30-minute chart. So let's go to this 1 hour chart here. Now, looking at NQ, we see now that it is under the 200 EMA. This yellow line here is my 200 EMA, but guess what? I don't have anything under here that was showing me where my possible trouble places are. So what I like to do sometimes, I would go, if this is my daily chart, I'm going to go to the weekly chart because I'm going to zoom out of this view just for a moment. I don't have anything over here that can show me, again, this is 3 months, 1 day. We can zoom out 1 year, 1 day, 5 years, 1 day, whatever it is that works best for you to help you come up with your strategy or come up with your trouble places, right? So I'm going to go to the weekly chart as of now because, and I'm just going to do, 3-year weekly. It doesn't matter how you do whatever. It's really how you want to go. How much information do you want to see, basically? So when you determine that, that's what we're looking at, how much information you want to see at that time. Now, this is our weekly chart for NQ. We understand that it just came down here and bounced. Well, kind of touched this area, not quite touched this area, right? It is our 50 EMA. Again, all of my charts show the exact same thing. I have a 5 EMA, a 20 EMA, a 50 EMA, and my 5 is always blue. This is consistent on every chart that I use. My 5 is always blue, so that way I'm not trying to remember what it is. Once you get in the pattern of doing the exact same thing, it just becomes routine and you get familiar with it. So that's one of the things with charting, is whatever it is that you can be unison across whatever platform that you're using, whatever time frame that you're using, make it consistent, right? So again, my 5-minute is blue, my 20 EMA is red, and my 50 EMA is white. My 200 EMA is that yellow gold color, and that is consistent on all of my time frames, on all platforms, on everything that I use, right? So again, NQ, we're looking at NQ. It looks as if this could be a trouble place, right? So I wouldn't have seen that on my daily chart, but as you can see, I marked that level. Well, we were kind of at that level. I marked that level at, and I'm put 50 EMA on the weekly chart. And if you're using TOS, all you do is right click and then edit. And then I just put 50 EMA. I really need to go back and change that amount, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you it's okay. I'm close to that area. I keep it white so that I know. I make my line a little bit thicker here so that I can pick it up easy when I'm moving from chart to chart. It will stand out for me. So let's go and get the right number is 19,972.55. 19,972.55. Let's change that. 19,572.55. That is the correct number, and it should be right at that. Well, that didn't work. What did I? 19,5. Let's just go back and put that the way it was. 19,972. No wonder. Okay, let's fix that. Y'all apologize. Look, raw and uncut, because that's exactly how. 19,752.55. We'll get it. Okay, so and charting is fun, y'all. You have to make it fun. Still not right. 972. Y'all, when I tell you charting, it's just fun for me. So I don't even know how I even got into this place, but I have to get it right or it will drive me to another level of different. But look, have fun with me today. Let's say that right. There we are. We got it right this time. Okay, 50 EMA. There we are. So because it was bothering me because it wasn't at that exact place at the time, I went back and had to do it 2 or 3 times, right? So, okay, so we're looking at the 50 EMA on this weekly chart. So I marked that level. Well, guess what? This ATR trailing stop, and y'all know, in my opinion, that's strong support or strong resistance. That tells me by looking at this weekly chart, if by chance NQ break from this level, we could very well come down to this level. However, again, this is a weekly chart. If I am looking at my daily chart, if I don't mark these levels, I will not know where those places are. That is why it is very important that we go to a higher time frame, or like from a daily chart to a weekly chart, and from a weekly chart to a monthly chart. It kind of gives us an overall view of that particular stock or ticker, or yes, ticker, let's say that. So let's go back. I've already marked the ATR trailing stop here. I've already marked my 50 EMA because we're already under the other layers of, so I'm going to go back to my daily chart, right? So I'm going to go back to the 3-month 1 day. That's what I like to use. Now, looking at NQ, it tells me that I've marked that. Let me go back out. I've marked that 50 EMA, which is here. So NQ got rejected here. Well, we broke past this 200 EMA. We closed under the 200 EMA, looking at it on this daily chart. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. There we are. We closed under this. This is the 200 EMA. We closed under that. This is the candle here. Now, what's interesting is, this is a level that we had marked already. We could very well find support. As you can see, we have found support. So breaking this level brings us back to this level of support. So I would set an alert to let me know, NQ has broken past this level of support, so it could very well continue declining, which will be interesting, right? Because we know there's another layer of support right here, and guess what? We just marked this 200 EMA that we had to mark 3 times to get it right. That's funny, right? So we see that, NQ could very well come down to this 50 EMA on the weekly chart, and as you can see, I marked that. Again, I see it on this daily chart, so I'm going to zoom back out. So breaking this level, those few layers of support that we have here. Let's go back to our 30-minute chart so that I can show, we can still see, there we are. So this was that first gray line that we saw as support. That was our zone, right? That's our zone. We broke out. If by chance we break under that, we could possibly find support in this area. Again, we got this information here from the weekly chart to let us know breaking this level, because I didn't have anything marked in this area here, lets me know that we could very well come back down to this level of where the 50 EMA is on the weekly chart. So just some helpful charting tips. If by chance you don't see it on the daily chart, go to the weekly chart or possibly the monthly chart and try to get your levels of where your possible trouble places are. Will we get it right every time? No, we will not, but it kind of gives us an area, a general idea of where our possible trouble places are. And again, if if it gets overwhelming for you to have a lot of lines, or some people just cannot deal with having all of that information on the chart, just narrow it down and figure out what works best for you. I just know that if I'm trading NQ as of right now, this is the zone that it's trading in, from this line to this line. If it should break this, I could possibly have trouble here. Well, guess what? There are no more indicators here from this point to this point outside of this pink line here, or dotted line, which is my ATR trailing stop. So I use simple support and resistance lines that I mark to kind of give me an idea that, if by chance I break past this, this could be a stopping place, this could be a stopping place, and this can be a stopping place. That's important to know, especially if you are in the trade. So again, I hope this is a very helpful tip. Going to a higher time frame or a smaller time frame, gathering your information, study. If you like to trade and you find something that you like to trade, like for me, Tesla or SPY, I go and I mark those levels. If I was to bring my SPY chart up on the daily chart, it's just overwhelming. So we're gonna not do that right now. But just knowing that I know where my possible trouble places are. I'm going to add Bitcoin because I don't, it's not something that I trade often. So, just watching it on this 30-minute chart here, we see price came down to this level, bounced off of that, only to bring us back to another level that we had marked. The gray shaded areas are just previous areas that we have been at before, right? So look where price kind of here gathered in this zone here, and we kind of know that there are possible trouble places. So I could very well mark, because this, let's say this line, gray line here, and this gray line here, there is a kind of like a big gap in between that. So guess what? It just gave me another area that I possibly need to watch, and it's right here. I'm just going to where the body of these candles are. Price stayed in this area for a reason, so I need to remember that next time, right? And if we could very well come back to, let's say, so now I have two areas, and I need to get that off. So now we have two areas that is between this line and this line that are fresh lines for me to let me know that Bitcoin actually found support in between the areas that I had. So again, I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale so that it helps me if I were to enter the trade. So that's something to be mindful of, y'all. Learning how to chart or learning how to find your support and your resistance areas is very key to trading. Sometimes we just jump in the game without studying it, without studying. So it's sometimes always helpful to go back and review your charts, review the things that you like to trade, and try to identify what caused us trouble right here, or where did we move, or what, I always ask myself, what stopped us at this place? Why did price stop at this area? Or why did price break through this area? I need to remember those, because there's a strong possibility that is going to be my support, that is going to be my resistance. So again, y'all, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. Again, this is what I see when I look at the market, and there's so many different ways to trade. There's so many different ways that, people chart or do it's learning a language and trying to figure out, how to make it to where you understand it. We can gather information from so many others, but it's understanding your language, putting it in a way that you understand it. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. Just some little helpful charting tips and things that I had to learn along the way. I always say learn from my mistakes, right? Because I did not previously go to the higher time frames. I was just looking at the now, not understanding that the past kind of tells a story that leads up to the future, or present. Let's say that the past tells a story that leads up to the present. That's something to be mindful of. Again, y'all, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very prosperous, a very productive day. Let's say that. And if you could, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.